everybody, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for tuning in to Janson Radio Podcast. Nah, tamu podcast kita kali ini adalah seorang yang luar biasa. Gue ngefans sama dia udah lama banget dan gue seneng banget akhirnya bisa ngobrol untuk dengerin jalan ceritanya. Nah, podcast kali ini menurut gue bakal banyak banget nih yang bisa diambil menjadi inspirasi buat kita semua. Dia adalah seorang yang asalnya dari Australia, pergi ke Indo, jatuh cinta dengan budaya Indonesia, dan dia decide untuk tinggal di sini. Dia punya restoran dan juga hotel yang udah berjalan puluhan tahun di Bali. Dia seorang event director, seorang author, pernah nulis beberapa buku tentang makanan Indonesia. Buku masakan Indonesia juga pernah. Dan dia adalah founder dari Ubud Food Festival. Jadi kalau yang belum tahu Ubud Food Fest, itu adalah event FNB yang paling keren kalau menurut gue yang ada di Indonesia. Nah bentar lagi nih Ubudfoodfest 2022 itu dari tanggal 24 sampai tanggal 26 Juni. Jadi langsung aja berangkat ke Ubud. Nanti di sana banyak chef-chef dari seluruh dunia dan dari seluruh Indonesia ngumpul semua di situ untuk menunjukkan kehebatannya semuanya. Mulai dari demo masak, ada menu-menu spesial di beberapa restoran, ada diskusi forum tentang topik-topik yang keren-keren di dunia F&B industry, dan masih banyak lagi. Jadi langsung aja cabut ke Ubud, kita hangout bareng di sana. Karena gue juga mau ke Ubud personally. Oke, di podcast ini kita akan ngebahas awalnya gimana sih, kenapa dia bisa jatuh cinta sama budaya Indonesia. Bukan hanya makanannya, tapi juga fashion dan art dan lain-lain. Dan menurut gue nih, dia adalah salah satu figur yang penting untuk melestarikan budaya Indonesia dan juga mempopulerkannya ke dunia internasional. Oke. Jangan lupa subscribe ya di Janson Radio Podcast. Selain di YouTube, kita juga ada di Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, dan juga Anchor App. For further updates, check out Instagram kita di Janson Radio. Oke, please welcome Janet dan Neefe. Enjoy the show. Kita sekarang sudah ditemenin sama Ibu Janet dan Neefe. Welcome to the show, Janet.
Thank you.
You are the founders of Ubud Food Festival and Ubud Writers and Readers Festivals, and you own your restaurants. You really help a lot of introducing Indonesian culture and food to the world, especially Balinese. Mm-hmm. So it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. Terima kasih.
Yeah. And you want to do this in Indonesia or in English?
I'm really bad at Indonesian. It's like so kacau. My kids scream and say, stop it. So,
how long have you been living in Ubud?
Wow. Since, kind of since 1984. Isn't that terrible? That's a long time, I think.
Yeah. And why you decide to stay in Ubud?
Well, because actually my story started in 1975.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I first came to Bali, before you were born.
Yeah.
I knew that. So my dad had some money and decided to take us on a family holiday.
Okay.
And he didn't want to go to the regular European destinations or, we'd been to Queensland, So he wanted to go to Bali.
Where is it the regular European destination for Australians?
Well, usually Europe, like England. Well, England first. You have to go and visit the Queen and do all that, Yeah. And then, you go to France and eat croissants. So, so he decided to do that, which the decision was based on the fact that his father was an artist.
Okay.
And he was saying how one of his dad's arty friends used to come to Ubud.
Okay.
Can you imagine in the late 60s with art groups? Like what? And so he'd heard about this place that sounded intriguing. And then, of course, in the 70s, I guess it was 1973 or 4, the surf film Morning of the Earth came out. And that kind of introduced a lot of Australians to Bali. Okay. I mean, the surfers already knew about it, but, us non-surfing kind of folk. And it was extraordinary. And that film, by the way, is having its 50-year anniversary this year. So,
Wow.
which I do hope to bring into the Ubud Writers Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, because that had such a huge impact on so many lives, because it showed Bali back in the day when the guys were just surfing and pristine beaches and
Oh my God.
yeah. So we came to Bali then, after that.
What was it like?
Well, it was just like this crazy overgrown jungle, but still magical, this kind of just intriguing, dazzling, still that kind of thing where, well, I remember the trees on the side of the road. They were like the tallest trees I'd ever seen in my life. They were like skyscrapers, with leaves. And the streets were narrow, of course, and everybody had big old Holdens. And I just remembered that thing. I wrote about it in Fragrant Rice. I just remembered thinking, if I put my arm out the window, stretched it out, I'd be able to touch everybody as we drove along, because the streets were full of people walking. They were going to the river, or they're going to the market, or, and I felt like dominoes, you'd be sort of, they'd all be falling as you, and then of course, people wearing sarongs. I guess, the grannies were topless, of course. So it was just this kind of like, wow, like a living museum, and like nothing I'd ever experienced before, coming from suburban Melbourne. So we were instantly smitten with this extraordinary kind of wonderland, this kind of hibiscus-ridden paradise, So and we drove to the airport and we landed at Hotel Champuan. So that's where we stayed. So our first destination was Ubud. And we loved that, and it became my home.
Oh, not right away, right?
Not right away. I wanted to actually come back and study or something. My mother said, "Are you serious? You've got to be joking." And then I thought, wow, it'd be really cool to do an exchange student thing here, but of course there was nothing back then. So so I didn't come back until I finished my schooling, and then I went through college. I studied art, and I graduated as a teacher, and then I came back after that.
To live here?
Not to live. No, not to live. I just came back on a holiday.
Okay.
But it was like 9 years later. And I didn't come back because people said, "Oh, don't get a Bali. It's like totally ruined." And eventually my sister said, "Oh, don't be ridiculous. Just go back. It's still fantastic," because she kept coming back. And so I came back, and I, followed the same path, came straight to Ubud, stayed in the same hotel, and just thought, wow, it hasn't really changed. And so I just sort of slotted back into this kind of idyllic kind of happiness, But I was really intrigued with the food. I've always been a bit of a food nut,
You have your own restaurant, Casaluna.
Yeah.
You wrote your own food memoir. Fragrant Rice. Yeah. How does it start?
Well, the food, you mean like
the love for Indonesian food.
Well, I mean, you're born with a love of food, right? You can't just grow that. So I guess when I first came here, it was just intrigue. I mean, frog's legs. We're like, what? But I don't mind because I'm adventurous. I'll eat anything. And I was like, wow, whoever knew you could eat frogs? Well, then I probably did know because the French do.
The French do,
but And then just gado. I mean, peanut sauce with savory things, I mean, we have it on toast, like peanut butter, but not like, what? It didn't like a salad. That's so awesome. So everything was just like, wow, like, oh my God. And just something as simple as salak. I remember they sort of poached it. They sort of boiled it in the skin.
The snake fruit, the salak?
Salak,
okay.
Yeah. And then peel it. And I think they just drizzled palm sugar syrup on top. And we're like, oh my God, that's amazing.
And especially salak Bali, right?
Yeah, betul.
Yeah.
And back then everything was more authentic, like the palm sugar was pure, it wasn't mixed with gula halus or anything. So it was just magical. And Bram, rice wine. I discovered that then.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
My mum was like, would you stop drinking that? I'm like, oh, it's so delicious, Mum. It's just made from rice. So, yeah. So, yeah, it was a very precious.
Which comes first, the restaurant or the book?
The restaurant.
The restaurant comes first.
Yeah.
How?
I started writing I started collecting recipes actually when I came back in 1985. I thought, okay, now I'm going to start collecting recipes because when I went back from the holiday in 84, I thought, okay, I've got to learn this food. It's, I need to know this. And so I remember I walked all over Melbourne in all the groovy bookstores, but I couldn't, there was nothing about Balinese food.
Okay.
It was always buried within Southeast Asian or Indonesian. And you'd look at the recipes, and I didn't know that much then, but I'm thinking, I don't know if that's right, So I thought, I have to do that. I have to do that research. This is my job now to document the food, which I thought it's going to be easy, just like a Margaret Fulton cookbook, a cup of this and a teaspoon of that. Because, trying to watch Balinese while they're cooking, like I said, no, I need to write the recipes. They're like, what? I want to write it down like untuk apa. Yeah. So, and I know a lot of them were just like, oh, she's got to be joking. And I'm sure when I wasn't looking, they're adding, terasi or different things so that when you made it yourself at home, different. You're like, come on, guys, So, anyway, I just persevered. I thought, well, I have to learn, and turmeric, like, what? You mean it's a ginger? Damn, I thought it was a powder.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other gingers, what's that? The galangal,
Lengkuas.
Yeah. Lengkuas or Bali, they call it isen, Yeah. I'm like, what's that? So, and kenchur, like people still don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the real name in English is really. I mean, there's many variations, but anyway. And just lime leaves, things like that. So I thought it doesn't matter. You just have to learn. So that was the beginning of my apprenticeship.
So did you travel around Bali to
collect
recipes?
Not really. I was really based in Ubud, and then my husband had a wood carving gallery in Mas. So I used to take the BMO.
Okay.
The BMO to Mas every day. So I had a little routine, I'd get up early and then I'd go to the market, to the pasar with the pembantu, and then she'd buy bits and pieces. I remember one day we're at the market. I'm like, oh my God. I said, they've got avocado. It's like, what? Avocado. Oh, avocado. I'm like, yeah. Oh my God. Oh, even then I loved it. It was like my mum's favorite food too. I said, wow, can you please buy some of that and let's cook it up at home. So I'm imagining, what are they going to do with that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, curries and, all these exotic things. So she peeled the avocado, chopped it in half, took out the seed, threw it in a glass, squished it up with some sugar and added like water or something like that. And I said, that's it? Yeah, we make a juice. I'm like, oh, okay. I was imagining some kind of feast of, Anyway, so so that was when I was learning just as much as I could, mainly from them. And I think because I didn't really travel around, I was too shy to do that, sort of tippy-toeing in and saying, oh, can I learn how to make your food? I didn't really do that. So I just stuck with the people that I knew.
Okay. But from that to Ubud Food Festival, which is now one of the biggest food festival in most anticipated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How does it start?
How did it start?
Yeah.
I think because we started in 2015. I think because with the Ubud Writers Festival, that was a festival with a cause,
A really positive cause.
Yeah, really positive cause. I mean, so is the food festival in terms of economy and culinary heritage, all of that. But the Writers Festival was really a serious event about, conversations and, like post bombings and, like talking about terrorism and all that sort of stuff. So food was like, all right, let's start eating. So I was dying to have a food festival, all the time actually, but I kept thinking the time is not right. Because even, years ago, like, especially for Australians, if you talked about Balinese food, they'd be like, oh, yeah, Bali belly. Whereas now when you talk about Balinese food and food in Bali, everyone just complains and said, yeah, Bali belly. I put on like 5 kilos in 1 week, So, I mean, you couldn't have run a food festival back then.
Yeah.
People were like, whereas now the culinary scene in Bali is gobsmacking.
Oh, wow.
It's just becoming more interesting all the time. It's more refined on so many levels, from the Balinese themselves too, and the kids. And, God bless the Warungs, because they're still just a powerhouse of amazing food. So, I just thought, how can you go wrong with a food festival in Bali? Hello. I mean, you're in Indonesia with this extraordinarily diverse, amazing cuisine.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the Balinese, and they're so cute and they're so hospitable, and can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it as easy as you thought when you started the festival?
No festival is easy. Oh, my God. So you're asking me now when we're just a few weeks into the Ubud Festival. I'm like, damn. So, I mean, it's exciting, that's the thing. And just, you get excited developing the program and thinking, oh, my God, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to put that person with that person. Then they're going to cook something. And I mean, hard not to be excited about that.
Yeah.
So.
And for our listeners and our viewers who maybe haven't heard or haven't come to Ubud Food Festival, what can they experience at the Ubud Food Festival this 2022?
A lot of food. So, actually, at what we call Taman Baca, which is like the heart of the Ubud Writers Festival, that becomes like just a huge kind of crazy food stall fair kind of thing. So we have all the food stalls, street food, etc., food trucks. And so we'll have maybe nearly 100 food stalls.
Ooh.
And then we have the village the Valley. Well, it used to be the Valley Cinema, but now it's like the Valley Music Hall. What do you call it? Stage. So down in the bottom level there, we're going to have live music.
Okay.
Because we love our music. So we'll run that late, just going to make a lot of noise and upset everybody. That's okay. And that's an amazing space. So it's going to be really exciting. And there'll be a bar down there and all sorts of groovy things. And then up on the higher level, that's where we have more food stalls, but also what we call teater culinaire. So it's like live cooking demos, just free 1-hour sessions, and, get to taste things and do all that sort of stuff. And then we have in the in the office building, actually, what we call food for thought. And that's real Ubud Writers stuff, where we bring people, discussions about food.
That's interesting.
It's really good. We got some great sessions. I mean, I could have had 25,000 more sessions, but anyway, I find that really exciting, and just finding out what's happening in Bali. I've just been blown away by the whole COVID thing, and looking at all these young kids who have pivoted their careers into these sort of culinary areas.
Yeah. A lot.
And amazing. So I just get so excited about that, obviously. And then, so, and just talking about ingredients, the different amazing ingredients in Indonesia. Also talking about a lot of the projects that have developed more recently with the assistance of various embassies, like the US Embassy is doing an incredible heritage program. I mean, they're in Padang right now.
Wow.
They're researching the cuisine. So they're probably hanging out with all the old grandmas and just, okay.
Wow, the US Embassy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Amazing. And the Canadian Embassy, they've been hanging out up in North Bali.
Wow.
With more grandmas.
Yeah.
A lot of grandmas. I guess there's this thing where, and I feel this is right across Indonesia right now, this sense that if we do not preserve our heritage right now, we will lose it. So it's almost like this race to record whatever they can before
to
document it. So when all these grandmas pass away, they haven't lost this whole wealth of knowledge, because they've got the database in their head, right?
Yeah.
So that's really exciting, and I'd like to think that one thing I'm trying to pull together for the Ubud Food Festival is just this big cookbook forum, because it would be good to see some more exciting Indonesian cookbooks that are not written by Westerners,
Exactly. I just want to say, yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean,
not only cookbooks. I saw when Indonesian, one of the fancy bookstores, about Indonesia and its culture, almost 100%
are non-Indonesians.
non-Indonesian.
Well, that's why my daughter's in Puteri, Indonesia.
Yeah, congratulations.
She just said,
Laksmi.
Yeah, because she was actually, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But she said she was so really saddened, deeply, deeply saddened, because when she was studying in Florence, fashion, Firenze, so cool.
Beautiful city.
And she went to the library there as an Indonesian, and it's the most comprehensive fashion library in Italy. So that's serious, Italy does fashion very seriously. So she was so excited and looking for an Indonesian book, an Indonesian fashion. She found one. And she's like, how can that be? Like one.
Yeah.
And this country's huge, and there's so many amazing designers. So I think that there are all these little things for her that just triggered off this passion to, for the same thing. We have to record our history. We have to write our past in order to move forward to our future, So anyway, that's cookbooks. I get carried away.
Yeah. But what do you think is that? Everything, not only photography, fashion.
Yeah, because we're more aggressive, we're bullies. One of the big differences is for the reading aspect is because the tradition as a Westerner, when you have a little baby, you read them stories. And that's what you do to make them go to sleep.
Yeah.
I used to read my kids stories and I'd be sleeping too. But I mean, that's like a nighttime tradition that Indonesians don't have, because you have oral, your oral stories.
You tell.
Yeah, you tell.
My grandmother tells stories, don't read them. Yeah.
So we've been brought up with books, and I sort of miss books because I love reading, but I kind of don't have a lot of time right now. So I try and read when I can, but I actually feel less complete when I'm not reading. And there's so many good books, especially right now. There's just so many good books to read. But anyway.
What do you love to read?
Why?
What type of?
What? I tend to like books that are set like in Asia or in Africa or in India. I just like books that have something like a story that inspires you or changes you. And I'm not talking about non-fictional, just talking about I don't know. I love fascinating books. Anyway, I don't know. So many books. Yeah.
So when this Ubud Festival will start?
So the Ubud Food Festival is 24 until 26th of June.
Okay.
And so what we also have is, apart from that main venue with all that activity, we then have master classes.
What is that?
So it's just like a 2-hour cooking class thing with the master chef. So ideally it's the more celebrated chefs in the program. So we've got that. And then, we have workshops. We also have walking tours around Ubud. So you can go and see, the guy making smoked duck, and the ayam betutu is around the corner from Casaluna, actually. And then we're also going to take one tour up north, where a lot of people are going now, to Chef Yudi's place. So we have that. And then on top of that, we have all the special events. So by the end of next week, we'll probably have about 26 special dinners, lunches, like breakfast, lunches, dinners. And that's where, again, the chefs from Indonesia and beyond will come in and do some sort of special dinner, but they're going to be really fun and fantastic.
Wow. Oh my God. I cannot wait to go there.
I know. Some of the dinners is like, I want to go to all of them, you have to run here and run there. And so it's going to be exciting.
You must meet a lot of international chefs who came here for the event, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
What are they talk about the Indonesian food?
Oh, I think they love it. I think they
Too spicy?
Oh, chefs are pretty good nowadays. They're pretty used to it. And, a lot of chefs have traveled too, or, a lot of Aussie chefs might have even lived in Asia for some amount of time. So,
Okay.
and it's not cool not to like spicy food.
Yeah.
So even if they didn't like it, they wouldn't say anything, because their friends would be like, oh, come on. Yeah.
So the theme of this year's Ubud Food Festival is heroes, right? Why did you choose that heroes?
Yeah, well, that was a theme that we chose pre-COVID because we had the full program ready to go. We had the whole festival ready to deliver, and then 5 weeks before, it's like and that was the theme then. I think just because we feel that the cuisine or Indonesian cuisine, it's really been built up or built upon by the grandmas and the old folk. For me, it's like the ultimate comfort food, a bit like Italian food.
Exactly.
I mean, and nobody cooks better than an Indonesian grandma, I don't think.
I agree.
I don't know. Yeah.
I agree.
Because
my grandma's food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh. Can I meet your grandma? I always wish I had an Indonesian grandma. It's not fair. But I mean, I think too, because they're not afraid to add that extra tablespoon of oil or, a bit more salt, all those naughty things that make food so unbelievably delicious. So, we just wanted to honor them, the contribution that they've made to culinary profile of Indonesia. It's the grandmas and the grandpas and all the old folk, or just people that are continuing the tradition of whatever it is they're making relentlessly, and often hard work involved. Like when I did the YouTube series, I was just over the moon to visit the couple that live in Pliatan. I didn't know about this until my daughter told me.
Where is it?
Pliatan, the next village, is like 15 minutes from our house.
Okay.
And in this little compound in the back streets, they make what they call topot. You'll see it on YouTube. And it's like rice that's with coconut that's been steamed in bamboo leaves.
Oh, my God.
I know. That's what I was like, oh, my God. Are you serious? My daughter bought it for me, actually. And they serve it with like the Balinese spices with coconut. But it's sort of ground into a paste. So it almost tastes like, I don't know, like cashew butter or something. I mean, it's kind of amazing.
Topot.
Topot.
Ah.
So and it's just tiny little packages in bamboo leaves. And then they have the little sauce, and then, they might eat it with, I don't know, fried chicken and urab, things like that. And so there's the woman in the compound. She's only 40-something. She makes it to order, or sometimes sells it at the market or whatever. And I think she's one of the only ones making it in Pliatan.
Yeah, it's the first time I heard.
Yeah, see, nobody knows. I think there's a lot of this around Bali that people don't know about. You only know about it if you're in that village. And it's labor intensive. I mean, she has to jalan down the road and pick all the, bamboo leaves from the forest there. And I mean, she can't go to Safeway and buy them in a plastic bag. I mean, she has to actually forage. You see, they're natural foragers.
Oh, so, a lot of natural foragers.
They're like, we've been doing that forever. So, I mean, to me, they're heroes too. All these people that are just devoted to their traditions. Or the guy in the YouTube that climbs a coconut tree. Did you see him?
Yes, I see. It's amazing.
Should have seen his muscles. I sort of wish I had gone like, are they serious? I mean, that's not an easy job.
No.
And they're still doing it. I mean, even the dudes who make salt, they're out in the sun in the morning.
Oh my God, it's hard work.
So they're all heroes because they do it for the love of it. Because they could be surviving in other ways, but there's just this dedication to their culture and to their traditions.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand when me and a couple of my friends went to the Locavore program.
Yeah,
they have a program where chefs sleep and they.
Oh yeah.
And they took us to do foraging, And yeah, I saw that firsthand where people just go the
grab stuff.
pohon
Yeah.
aren.
Yeah.
Okay, grab the water in bamboo.
Yeah.
Ferment it. Okay, what do you want? You want the aren syrup?
Yeah.
Or you want the alcohol?
Yeah.
Fermented? Or you want the vinegar? I was like, wow.
I'll take the alcohol, right?
Yeah.
We forget all this other stuff. Yeah. No, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, just amazing.
Yeah.
I used to take groups actually, years ago on the coconut sugar tour.
Okay.
And we'd drive into Klungkung and, go to this guy's little compound. And, I had to persuade him to do it. I said, no, seriously, Pa, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. And, so he was a government worker, but also making palm sugar. And he used to climb the trees twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. And he had, calf muscles like that. Looked like Maradona. And then he said, oh, yeah. I said, oh, Papa, oh, God, it's really hard to climb those coconut trees, I think. Well, susah, yeah? He said, no, it's easy. I said, no way. No, he said, it's fine. I've got a ladder. I said, oh, get out of here. A ladder? He said, yeah. Come have a look. So his version of a ladder was he'd cut little notches into the wood.
Oh, yeah.
I have a ladder. I said, oh, come on. I know. God bless them. So, yeah, there's a lot of people, doing stuff like that in the village.
Yeah, I mean, Indonesia, especially when I did this podcast before I was stuck in the kitchen working, right?
Yes.
So, and I met a lot of Indonesian people who are trying to preserve the culture and our heritage.
Great. Yeah, it's great.
Through food.
Yeah.
And people like yourself, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's because it's special, you don't want to lose that. And the kind of wisdom they have and the knowledge about ingredients, it's extraordinary.
Are you familiar with the company called Jafara?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I did a podcast with Bu Helianti and she told me her story about at that time a lot of this rice, organic rice grower, which is around the time that it's illegal to go to plant other than one type of rice. They keep growing it in their home, inside their home.
Thank God.
Just to preserve.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ibu Heli will be in our program. She's doing amazing work. They're doing research like Borobudur from the relief.
Yes.
They've gathered recipes from the stonework. I mean, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you find the program and you've been doing it like through the Writers and Readers Festival and now Ubudfoodfest translated to the younger generation of Indonesia?
Yeah, how do you make it appealing? Wow, you just hope they enjoy it. Oh, well, you add things like alcohol, We're also looking at the kind of enormous resurgence of Arak,
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's kind of cool. And that's really Balinese too, so we've got a lot of those guys in the program. But also we're looking at this kind of whole, what I call the craft beer revolution, There's... So this is what is appealing for young people, But there's kind of within that whole passion for craft beer, there's kind of this undercurrent of consumer sensitivity, or they think about where it comes from, who's making it, what's their ethos, are they ethical and all that sort of thing. So
we started to think about that before. No, only
exactly.
the price.
Now it's exactly. Now it's like who are they anyway and what's their story? So it's kind of cute. And I think the craft beer producers are aware of that, and they're often young people anyway. So that's kind of interesting too,
Yeah, and I mean the Balinese craft beer, everybody in Jakarta at least loves it. It's the new cool thing, right?
The beer.
Yeah, the beers.
Yeah.
But I just recently opened a bar.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Where's the drinks?
I don't know if you want one.
What sort of bar?
It's a Japanese bar.
Wow.
But we just start to implement Indonesian alcohol to the cocktails. It's a cocktail bar.
Oh.
And we use Brembali.
I love
Because-
Brem Barley. Well, see, and then I started drinking that when I was 15. Yeah.
And
Mm.
our mixologist made the Brem sour.
Yeah, well, I used to do that.
Yeah,
Casaluna.
and it's the most
Yeah.
popular item now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have what was it called? Brem Arak sour.
Okay.
And it was based on a whiskey sour.
Yeah.
But actually, it was never supposed to be Brem Arak sour, but somehow my staff got the recipe mixed up. This is years ago, and it became our most popular drink at the time. Yeah, I was selling Brem and Arak at Casaluna since 1992, before it was famous. I used to we still have it now. I called it Margarita. So it was a margarita with Arak.
Margarita.
Margarita.
Wow.
You must try it. It's fabulous.
Oh, I will come for sure.
Yeah.
Next
Lots
time.
of lime juice and stuff. So, I'm having fun with that too. Everybody is now, because suddenly there's all this really elegant Arak. And so you start to think, do we really need imported vodka and gin? I mean, let's make the whole lot by ourselves. I mean, because on the island too, there's that East Indies Gin Company. They're making their own gin.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit of that Western thing. It can't be as good as, the West. But they're doing fabulous stuff.
It has a different character. I tried.
Yeah, that's cute.
And
yeah.
I love their coffee liquor also.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, they do coffee liquor.
That'd be nice with ice cream.
Yeah. Affogato.
Yeah, avocado. Yeah. So I know it's really fun, isn't it? There's the what's the other one? Karosuji.
Karosuchu.
Karosuju.
Yeah, we will maybe next month we'll do a podcast with them.
With the baba. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love their product.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They have the new product launching soon, I think, where they have the Karosochu, they have the different alcohol level, right?
Yeah.
And the highest one I think is 40 something.
Yeah. Oops, that's the one I.
And they age it in oak barrel for 2 years. That liquor, so it's smoother.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah.
And next, I'm going to ask you about your food show on YouTube, Bali of the Beaten Track.
Yeah.
Is it your pandemic project? Yeah,
well, it was. I think that was the good thing about the pandemic. Yeah, the COVID kind of career. I suddenly thought about all the things that I never had time to do.
Yeah.
And then and one of them is to make a YouTube series. I've been wanting to do that for years, but I was too engulfed with festivals to find a way. So suddenly I'm like, oh my God, let's do it. So I met Erik Est and he's from Medan, and he loves food. He's Indonesian. I think I've never met an Indonesian yet that doesn't love Indonesian food, of course, So he got excited too. So, we had a lot of fun, and just great to talk to the different old folk and learn their little secrets and things they do. And, it was pretty hilarious. So,
yeah, I love this. One of my favorite is when you go to Mukbang.
Well, I was just talking about that the other day. I mean, he is seriously one of the most unusual people I've ever met in my life. Seriously.
Why so?
He's so unusual. I mean, he's tiny. I think he only eats one meal a day. And because Erik knows him and he said, look, he's pretty protective of the kitchen. He said, look, if he lets you in, that'll be amazing because nobody is really allowed in except for the staff. So, we'll just play it by ear, okay? Just see how you go, Well, we got on like a house on fire. Like we were, I was cracking jokes all over the place and he laughed, which is really good. So then he said, so you want to come into the kitchen? I'm like, can I? He said, yep, come on. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going into the kitchen. So, and just saw this production. It's so tidy and so neat, so clean. I said to him, are you a Virgo? Can't remember what he said. But anyway, it was just so organized. I'm like, wow, that's how you succeed. Attention to detail. And I'm like, so what's that over there? He said, oh, I'm making the sambal. Really?
That's what makes them famous, right? The sambal.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn, I wish I had that recipe. Great big woks, and then trevally fish, that's what they use. And he said he gets all the best fish. Like
Oh yeah.
all the fishermen just go to him. No point seeing anybody else.
So the first time I tried mukbang
yeah,
was my friend said, okay, I used to eat in Bali. I used to eat either bebek, right,
Yeah.
bebek betutu, or
Yeah.
nasi babi, right, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
But okay, let's eat soup ikan.
Yeah.
Like, no, why? And like, let's go. It's really famous. So
Yeah.
okay, soup ikan, only rice, soup, and sambal. But
Yeah.
when I tried, oh my,
I know.
when
I know.
coming back overseas.
I'm like, isn't that like the best business ever?
Yeah.
3 dishes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, me at Casaluna. Oh, I put that salad on. What about, you've got to have this, and 50,000 dishes later. I love the soup. See, I really love cucumber like that.
Yeah.
My pembantu at home, she always makes stuff like that. So I'm thinking, God, I could open a branch of net or something.
Net.
So I mean, but yeah, he's so eccentric. And then he loves Arak. So after we did the filming, we had to go back to his house, and he invited us, come back and drink Arak and stuff. So I thought, wow, this is so unusual.
Are you trying to continue the?
Oh, I don't know. We just never got around to it after that. We sort of
now Bali is open.
Yeah, we got
you're
busier.
busy.
And, yeah. I mean, I'd love to, but and I haven't really even promoted it. I just got too busy. So it's like, oh yeah, damn, I should be doing that too. I've just been, like I said, engulfed with festivals this year and the food festival, because we don't have enough staff. Actually, that's the problem. So we don't have enough senior staff. So I'm wearing a few hats right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in balancing your time during the festival, and
the other
YouTube
festival,
and the restaurant and the other festival,
that festival.
When do you find the time? And you came here to support your daughter as well.
Yeah. Of course, that's a priority. I don't really find the time to do anything right now. I wish I could read more. But anyway, most important thing that is in my life right now is good food, good wine, and the family, of course.
Oh, okay.
So that makes up for it. If I've got good food and wine, I'm happy. So
yeah,
I know. Hopeless. Yeah.
Okay. Next questions on why do you think is in your point of view, why do you think it's so important to preserve the our heritage? Not only food, but other things as well.
Because it's part of your identity. And that's it, And really, those people who have a strong sense of identity are usually the most balanced people on the planet, If you start mucking around with people's identities, or, if they lose it, kacau, the whole thing falls apart. So it's a really important part of your identity. It's how you build on your future. It's how you grow a nation even. So it's extremely important. It's important to record your history, to write your history, to live your history, and just have that strong sense of identity. And I guess now is a bit of a turning point. So I think the government too, everybody's like trying to really preserve what they have, because what they have in Indonesia is extremely special. And I know that because I'm not Indonesian. So I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm thinking, don't lose it, guys. It's really...
Yeah, most often times here, we took it for granted.
Well, you do. Anybody does, So that's why often, even if you say, non-Indonesians are writing about Indonesia, I think it's because we're all so charmed with it. And also, like for me, I wanted to learn about the food, but there was not much information. So then I thought, oh, I have to do that. So that kind of drives people too, I think, to write about it, because they want to learn actually.
Yeah, and it's good to see the our government at least also now is their effort is clear to preserve the heritage,
because they know how important it is. And for if they're aiming to be the next superpower in 2030 or whatever it is, they know they have to build on their heritage. They have to just strengthen all those elements, have people writing and reading and, learning as well.
The tricky part maybe is to balance growth and preserving the heritage. A few years ago, before the pandemic, I remember there's a huge topic like the modernization of Bali, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor old Bali, Yeah.
What do you think about that issue, though?
The modernization of Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't want it to be too modern. I mean, of course, we love a balance, you know.
Like looking at Ubud,
Yeah,
like I remember when I go there as a kid.
yeah.
That's today is totally
Totally
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what's happened in Ubud is because the main street, in the main streets, behind the shops in the main street is the compound of the family, right?
Yeah.
So once upon a time, all those shops in the main streets, or all the streets, the family lives behind there. So it's run by the family.
Yeah.
So you get this really strong sense of Ubud.
Yeah.
Now the danger is that a lot of the little shops in front of the compounds are being rented out because they can't keep up with it to non-Balinese and some sort of international brands and everything. So the danger is that you start to diffuse the very spirit of a place that created the place itself, you know, that is what made it special. So, that's where the Balinese have to fight back, you know.
It used to be the place. Okay, if you want quiet, then go to Ubud.
Yeah.
Now you want quiet, go further up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, unless it's COVID. then
Let's
you
go.
go to Ubud. Yeah. Well, it used to also be the place for art, you know.
Yes.
Like when you wanted to buy art, you go straight to Ubud. So
I thought it's still the place, right?
well, it's really not as much. There's more Guardian chemists than art stores, you know. But I've been excited too that we've developed an art program. So up at Indus, upstairs, we're now running exhibitions every month.
Okay.
You know, because my background's art, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to cultivate that spirit again and try and be a part of bringing back more art into Ubud, or more art conversations even, and just the artistry of Bali. I mean, it's sort of interesting because, you know, I have a small hotel.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been very Balinese, you know. I mean, I refuse to have TV screens, things like that, which I still refuse to do.
It's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, people can watch Netflix on their laptops.
Smartphone.
You know. But there is that sense that, well, I know, like if it were my kids, they wouldn't want to stay there because it's old, you know.
Yeah.
And so I could see my husband too, a bit like, oh yeah, maybe it's time to modernize. And I think, oh, I don't want to. You know, I mean, I understand you can add some modern touches, but for me, the very thing about all our businesses is we're very authentically Bali.
Yeah.
So somebody has to be, you know, you can't all be modern then, you know. So there's so many special things that need to be preserved.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing, maybe you give advice to all of our listeners, like about reading, about anything.
Oh. Yeah, well, as my daughter says, if you want to be a good leader, you have to be a good reader. And I think, like I said, for me, I don't feel complete unless I'm reading, because there's just so many fascinating stories out there, but it's also learning about the other, you know, so it teaches you to be more compassionate, more broad-minded, more at peace in a way, you know. And it immerses you in another world. So it's far better than Instagram and TikTok. So I don't know.
Read more.
Read more, yeah. Well, it makes you smarter and more interesting. You can go to a party and say to this girl, "Hey, did you read the latest book about this?" And she'd be like, "What? Are you serious?" And really good writers are really groovy people too. So, yeah.
Oh, you're such an amazing person, Janet. It's really an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Hope both the festivals.
Yeah, you have to come, and you can do a podcast from Ubud Food Festival.
Wow,
that'd be fun.
Oh my God, it's an honor. Seriously, thank you very much.
And you can interview some groovy people. You know?
Oh yeah,
lots of groovy chefs going.
You know, I never went to Ubud Food Festival because it's always it correlates with my job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why. All of my chef friends already went.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and they love it. They came back every single year.
I think, that's so cute. Yeah, well, it's fun because it's food,
Yeah.
But we've got some amazing events. We have a team from the Sula Islands coming.
Where is it? Oh,
Yeah,
I feel so embarrassed. Like,
I know.
where?
I know. So that's what I said to my team. You know what? I said, I've never heard of this, but I bet you most Indonesians I know would not have heard of this either. Like my kids are like, what? North Maluku.
Okay. Sula Island.
Sula Islands. And so Chris Siamsudin, my great buddy, who's, I think his home is more around Ternate, but he just manages to get support from these different areas. He's bringing in a whole team to do a special lunch at Casaluna.
Wow.
He's bringing in their special lobster and crayfish.
Wow.
They're shipping, like they're flying it in from the Sula Islands. Probably, all sorts of seafood. And they're making something called pola. I'm like, Chris, what is that? Well, it seems to be like they mix tuna or fish or something with sago.
Yeah.
I don't know if they cook it in bamboo or something like that, or they cook it together anyway. So it's not papeda.
Yeah.
It's something else with sago. I'm like, no way. So they do amazing things. So they got crab and all sorts of stuff. So they're doing a lunch at Casaluna. And then my other lovely friend Liz from Flores. Have you ever tried the food in Flores?
No, I never went anywhere.
Really? Even in Labuan Bajo, you can go to some fantastic little food stalls. OMG, amazing. So she runs this little place called Dapur Tara Flores and makes traditional Flores food.
Okay.
They make lawar. They call it lawar.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll try that. And sort of expecting the barley lawar thing, with every spice on the planet in there and stuff. Totally different, but still small. And then she made the best pisang goreng I've ever tried, but she kind of put, the texture was different, and she put on top like fennel adas.
Adas, yeah.
On top of pisang goreng.
Wow. That's interesting.
And I was like, wow. She had the most amazing food. And their rice is different. They had red rice that was almost like, I think I'd had something like that in Sri Lanka. It's a bit of a bigger grain.
Yeah.
It's like thinking, I didn't know rice could be that different from one island to the next. So, I'm totally excited about what they're doing.
Yeah. And
then we've got other guys, we've got our mates, Party Gastronomy from Bandung.
Oh, Party. Yeah, I know them really well.
They're hilarious.
Oh, they go deep on the research about
Yeah. They're amazing. And then we've got, Chef Ragil and all those guys. So, I mean, the Indonesians are just nailing it. So we bring them all into festivals so that other Indonesians can try it, because even last time with Chris Siamsudin, we did a Ternate long table lunch and they cooked everything in bamboo.
Wow, my God.
And the audience, I mean, I had women flying in from Jakarta saying, I've come here just to try this food. So other Indonesians are finding a lot of these things in Ubud.
Yeah.
So, and we also, last time we had the Aceh team as well. Yeah, so they were doing their kopi tarik and stuff all over the place. So it's very
Well, save me a seat. And I want to say this personally. Thank you, Janet, for doing this, for doing the festival and trying to preserve.
It's important.
Our heritage, Indonesia. Right?
Pleasure.
You're more Indonesian now than Australian.
Well, it's all fun. It's an adventure.
Thank you for coming. And thank you for inviting the podcast team to the festival.
Yep. My pleasure. Hope to see you in Ubud, yeah?
Yes. And guys, thank you very much buat yang udah nonton dan yang udah dengerin podcast kita kali ini with Janet Neefe. Jangan lupa datang ke Ubudfoodfest. One more time, when is the festival?
24 until 26th of June.
Okay.
And then the Ubud Writers Festival is 27 until 30 of October.
Okay, so 24 sampai 26 Juni untuk Ubud Food Festival dan Writers and Readers di Oktober
27 until 30.
27 sampai tanggal 30. Oke, to check out, follow di Instagram Janet Neefe Ubudfoodfest Festival. Juga ada
Ubudwritersfest and Ubudfoodfest. Yeah.
Ubudwritersfest and Ubudfoodfest. So thanks again, Janet.
Thank
Hope
you.
everything went smoothly, the
Yes.
preparation.
Yes.
And we'll see you again in Bali.
Yeah. Okay.
Oke guys, jangan lupa subscribe ya di Janson Radio Podcast. Kita ada YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, dan juga Anchor App. Cek Instagram kita di Janson Radio. Okay, stay safe, stay healthy, eat Indonesian food, and read more. Kalau kata Janet. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.